Hi friends, my name is HADASSAH TREU. I'm an award-winning Christian author, blogger, poet, speaker and motivator. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I want to ask you a question. What song are you singing when it hurts the most? What is coming out of our hearts when we are in the deepest pain, in the deepest darkness? I think this is one of the most important questions which shows the extent to which we are free and to which our love to the Lord is mature. So perhaps you had periods in your lives which were really dark and during which loss after loss or challenge after challenge piled up. And perhaps it was too much and you are overwhelmed and exhausted, and then you faced some faith crisis. I had many periods in my life like this, but I remember particularly one long period of painful transitions and pain after pain and loss after loss, when I moved to my homeland after losing my husband, which was the most painful ever. But then when I followed the Lord's lead and moved back to my homeland, I perhaps thought that things would get better, or that I would have the love, the support and the community to helped me navigate my grief. But actually the first year was one of the hardest ever, and reality really hit hard and things didn't go as I expected. So I remember in this first month or year that first I got COVID, then my mom was admitted to the hospital, and me and my siblings needed to take care of my father, who was bedridden after a stroke. And all this while navigating transition and loss and grief, and that this was too much. And I remember that I was falling back into complaint and self-pity, and I was demanding answers and immediate help from the Lord, and I was complaining, and I grew bitter and bitter, and I just went through a faith crisis. But then when I calmed down, the Lord brought to my mind the story of Paul and Silas in Acts 16. And I want to share a little bit about this with you, because this was eye-opening for me and turned the direction of my heart from complaining and bitterness to loving the Lord and worshiping Him. So let's consider the situation of Paul and Silas. They were faithful followers of the Lord. They were on a missionary trip. They were doing the will of the Lord, and one would expect that everything will go smooth and they will not face any troubles or problems. But they are here in Philippi, and there was one slave girl, and they casted a demon out of the slave girl, which brought a lot of problems, because the slave girl predicted the future, and her masters made a lot of money with this. And after the demon was cast out, she lost her ability to predict the future. So Paul and Silas were brought in front of the judges. They were unfairly judged. They were beaten. They were put into prison in a cell without light, in the darkness. They were bleeding. They were definitely experiencing a lot of physical and I'm sure also emotional pain. And it was midnight, the darkness, the darkest of the darkness. And I think that if I were in this situation, most probably my kind of communication with the Lord or prayer would be, Lord, why? Why did you allow this? Is this my reward for doing your will? Please come and save me and free me from this prison. Where are you, and why, and why, and why? But not Paul and Silas. So what were they doing in the middle of the night, in the chains, in this extreme pain? The Bible tells us that they were singing, and I want to read this verse for you. So about midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God, and the other prisoners were listening to them. Acts 16:25. So they were praying and they were singing. And what song did they sing? They sang hymns to God. Hymns, this means that these were hymns of gratitude and hymns of worship and praise. And I believe they felt an immeasurable joy because they were rejoicing in the Lord despite everything, despite their painful circumstances. They didn't try to move the Lord to do anything on their behalf, because these men of faith obviously loved the Lord freely with their whole hearts, without pretense, without demands, without expectations. They loved the Lord more than their lives and their well-being. Their souls were free to love and worship Him. And I thought that this is superhuman. Is this possible for me, or was this possible for me at this moment? I love the Lord, but this was not in my heart, and I think that the Lord beckoned me and invited me, and this is His invitation to all of us, to come to a greater measure of freedom, to be free of our expectations and our reserve, to love Him really wholeheartedly and put Him above our lives and well-being. And this is a mature love, and this is a mature joy. So the Lord beckoned me to see Him, to focus on Him, and to love Him in my pain, so He can truly become my joy, my peace, my light, and my salvation. So this was an invitation to change the song of my heart, to change the song of complaint, of pity, of bitterness, to a song of love, of praise and gratitude. And how is this done? How can we do this? I think the secret is in what we choose to focus on. So if we have this constant choice to focus on the Lord, to focus on His love, on His goodness, on His faithfulness, if we choose to remember this, then it will be easier for us to soar above our circumstances, to soar in the Spirit, and to sing songs of love and gratitude. Because the truth is that even if we get stripped of everything, the Lord remains ours forever, our greatest treasure and our greatest reward. And when we choose to worship Him in the form of purest worship, then something miraculous happens. Then we change. And our spirits and our souls are free to soar in His love, to soar above our circumstances. And we get refreshed and sustained by the source of life Himself. And sometimes the Lord chooses to set us free and to break the chains of the outer circumstances too, to break the chains of the suffocating circumstances. He did so with Paul and Silas. And this is what we read in Acts 16:26. Suddenly, this is really important because they didn't expect this, they were not praying for this. But suddenly there was such a violent earthquake that the foundations of the prison were shaken. At once, all the prison doors flew open and everyone's chains came loose. So not only their chains, but the chains of all the prisoners. This is amazing. And in my case, the Lord also loosened my chains. He loosened the chains of my grief, of my exhaustion, of my mental, emotional, and physical weakness. But most importantly, He loosened the chains of my ungratefulness, of my entitlement, of my demanding and complaining attitude. And He led me to a greater measure of freedom. The freedom to love Him as He is. He helped me change my narrative in the middle of my pain and darkness, to a narrative of joy, love, and hope. So, this is my question for you today. What song are you singing when it hurts the most? And remember that if this is a song of pity, of bitterness, of complaint, you can change this song. With the help of the Holy Spirit, when you decide to focus on the Lord, when you decide to worship Him in your pain, without demands, without reserve, then the song will change and your heart will change too. So I hope this video encouraged you and perhaps will help you to do some self-examinations and will help you draw near to the Lord. And I would be happy if you like it, share it, comment, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. And I just want to remind you that I explore further this topic, how to draw near to the Lord and how to worship Him in our pain, in our painful experiences, and how this looks like and what does it mean and what happens when we do this. In my book, Draw Near, How Painful Experiences Become the Birthplace of Blessings. So if you haven't heard about this book, if you haven't checked it, please take a look on Amazon and all other online book retailers. And I would be happy and honored if you consider reading it. Thanks a lot for watching and till next time.